Stop it.
Welcome.
Not wet. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today this is like a really serious video. Everybody wants to know the backstory on how I became, Rollin' J. And 13 years ago, I was in a car accident, and so I'm going to tell you guys every detail about what happened that day.
Hi, I am Rollin' J's mother, Nikki, and I will be here today to explain the details of the events that transpired 13 years ago that drastically changed his life and our family's life forever. Right at a month after turning 6 years old, he had just learned how to ride his bicycle with no training wheels. I think that morning, I had to work that afternoon, so I was taking the boys. JATERRIOUS has two brothers. At the time, they were 3 and 1. So I was taking them to visit their father, and probably about 10 minutes from our house is where everything just kind of changed. From what I can remember and from some of the things that were told, I think I was traveling in the right lane. A vehicle that was trying to get over into my lane, I think he kind of jumped into my lane because someone in front of him slammed on brakes. So to keep him from hitting me, because JATERRIOUS was in the front seat, my other two boys were in the back, I jumped in another lane. When I jumped in another lane at the speed I was going, I lost control of the vehicle. I passed out because I hit the side of my face on the window. And pretty much I passed out, drove through traffic, passed out. We ended up hitting an M-bank and flipped over. Well, we went through like a gas station post and we flipped over. So,
3 times.
Was it 3?
Yes, it was 3 times. Was it?
I think we only flipped over once. I'm not sure, but when I did wake up, I just thought it was a fender bender. I had no clue that, the car looked like this. Like, no clue that this is the type of accident that we were involved in. So,
Oh, and I was sitting on this side, in the front. That was my seat.
So they did say that if he was in the back seat that he wouldn't have lived. He would have been in the middle. My two boys were both in car seats. So the car seats would have like crushed his skull.
Oh, get the car seat.
So, yeah, that's one of the car seats that were flipped over.
Yeah. Wouldn't be here if I was sitting in the back seat, just so you guys know.
Right. Don't. Okay, I'm trying to remember from that point. I'm not sure who all were at the scene, but I know that there was a lot of bystanders. So I went through the dashboard. So I had a lot of injuries to my face. I had to have reconstructive face surgery. I had wires on my teeth for about 2 months, I think. My youngest son, he had the less injuries of us all. And my middle son, he fractured his leg in 3 places. So we were all rushed to the hospital. At that time, JATERRIOUS, as I can remember, he could still walk. They pulled all of my kids got out of the vehicle. Me, they had to actually cut me out of the vehicle. But I do remember him walking at the time. I didn't know anything that had happened to him until after we were already at the hospital. So you were transported, I think, the same night. This was early morning that the accident happened. So all of us were separated. My injuries were really terrible, so I was put in a different room. JATERRIOUS was put somewhere else. His two brothers were put somewhere else. So my mom was like all over the place. My sister was all over the place. Not sure who all else came that particular day. I think my best friend was there that same day that this happened. I really don't know what else happened on that particular day itself. I think that night is when my mom came to share with me. My mom and JATERRIOUS's dad came to share with me that he had fractured his spine. So of course, none of us knew what any of that meant. You know, he fractured his spine, but he had to be airlifted from. By the way, this happened in Valdosta, Georgia, but JATERRIOUS had to be airlifted from Valdosta, Georgia to Shands Medical Center. Is that in Gainesville? In Gainesville, yes. Florida. So my last time seeing JATERRIOUS was traveling that morning. I didn't see him again until...
It's okay. Mom, don't cry.
When I did see him again, I think it was maybe a month later. So that was my first time seeing that. You know, he couldn't walk. By that time, he was transported from the hospital in Gainesville, Florida, to Children's Hospital in up here in Atlanta, Georgia. So that was my first time seeing him. He was very small. Nothing like I remembered him. So everything just was different at that point. When I came to see him, of course, I still couldn't talk because I had wires on my mouth. I looked totally different. I don't think he was afraid of me. I don't think he expressed that he was afraid of me, but my other two boys, they were afraid of me. Like I said, I looked very different. I do have a picture. I think this was maybe 2 weeks, maybe after the incident. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So for the kids to be afraid of me, that was very life-changing. It was very emotional. Of course, I couldn't work. Because it took a lot of care coming back and forth because he was here. I think he was up here for a month before he was able to come home. So he didn't come home until maybe a couple days before Christmas. And of course, yeah, he came home in a wheelchair. I don't know if he understood how much his life had changed. We, of course, knew that everything was going to be different. It was going to be challenging. We knew no one that was in a wheelchair, you know, before JATERRIOUS. So everything we had to learn. He learned so much while he was in therapy. It just was amazing. Like I said, he was 6 years old. I don't recall ever doing anything for JATERRIOUS. He's been very self-sufficient since that day. They taught him everything that he needed to do in order to be successful in his new life. They taught us how to care for him. I don't know. You have anything you want to say? 'Cause I done got all emotional. But usually around this time, I do get emotional. Like I said, November the 11th is the day that this happened. So every time I look at him, of course, I'm reminded. But he has come so far. I'm glad he's deciding to take some type of initiative and show people that, you know, your life doesn't have to stop just because this has happened. This didn't just happen to him. It happened to our whole family, my mom. my sister, my nephews, everyone in our family had to come together and accept this as our new reality. So, yeah, I would say all of our lives changed in that moment. So, we had a lot of funny moments, but we also had a lot of moments that I don't ever want to go back to ever again. I remember when he first started school after this happened, and of course, like I said, we didn't know anyone that was in a wheelchair. So of course, for these students to see someone that looks like him but is in a wheelchair, because he doesn't look like, I don't want to say it the wrong way.
But other kids that can walk.
No. Children that are born with spinal cord injuries, the way that they, I guess, act and the way that he acts was like totally different, because most of them sometimes suffer from like brain injuries, and he just had a spinal cord injury, so it didn't affect his brain at all. So he had a lot of, it was just very hard for him to communicate with other kids that were in wheelchairs, because they were mentally and physically disabled, whereas he was just physically disabled, if that makes any sense. So for kids to see him in a wheelchair, still in regular classes, it was different. And yeah, they mocked him and they taunted him. So literally, when he was in the 2nd grade, I had to snatch him out of public school system.
Yeah, I was bullied in elementary school. It was my 2nd grade year. Yeah, because we moved here. We moved to Atlanta my 3rd grade year. So it was my 2nd grade year. I used to have to wear pull-ups, diapers, because I couldn't control my my bowel movement or my bladder. So I used to have to wear diapers, and I used to have to get them changed. And the kids knew, and they used to make fun of me and try to chase after me in the hallway just to see my diaper. And yeah, it was really sad. Which made me leave that school and go to the Christian school. They treated me nice there. No bullying, no Christian school, of course. They don't tolerate that. So after the Christian school, we moved to New Hope, which is in McDonough, Henry County. Due to that, we had a lot of doctor appointments. So that was the main reason why we moved here. Everyone at New Hope, they were real nice to me, made a lot of friends, still friends with people to this day, graduated with them. They treated me nice, no bullying there at all. But yeah, I never really talked about the situation or anything like that. Very long.
We had to move up here because he has a spinal cord injury. A lot of other things transpired in his body. So JATERRIOUS had to have a bladder augmentation. With the condition, or with the severity of the accident, his bladder stopped growing. So it was the size of a baby. So there was no way that he could be his age and those organs still function properly. So he had to get a bladder augmentation where they actually increased his bladder size so that it will hold normally like his age was supposed to. So that surgery was about 9 or 10 hours, I think. I think it was like 9 or 10 hours. But it was going to require him to be out of school for like a month or so. So instead of trying to come back and forth, we sold our home in Valdosta, and that's how we ended up here. But this was, when we moved here, this was his first time attending public school system again, and I think it was okay here.
I have no problems with nobody. Everybody liked me. Everybody was welcome.
Yeah, we didn't have any issues when we moved here. So I allowed him to stay in the public school system until, of course, he's graduated now. So I did my job. Job well done.
Cringe. But yeah.
Do you have anything you want to share? You just left me talking like all by
Yeah, because you knew the whole
myself.
story. You knew the whole story.
You know the story too. I've told this story.
I just say I broke my back and That's it. And people just like, oh. People just want to know the details of what happened. So you told like every single detail.
It was a really horrific day. Yeah, and actually in Valdosta, the gas station where we had the impact, they haven't put those little poles up yet. Because we went through those little poles, and they haven't put the posts back on that gas station sign still to this day.
I don't think it was never there.
Yes, they were. We went through them.
Yeah, it was like this, and then it was really tall, and there was nothing there. You just drive right under.
But it was poles on the side.
Mm-hmm.
We still went through, but those poles are not there anymore.
Really?
I don't think so.
Mom, we pass by it like almost every time we go. Wait, I think it's there.
I try not to pay attention to it, like not like that. I don't like to look at it, so
yeah.
It's still a little weird. My mom
They
still
took the
lives
rails
in
off
Valdosta.
though. The rails are off.
The rails
On the side of the road where we hit.
Oh, okay.
Those are not there no more.
Where that ditch was.
Yeah, there's no ditch. It's just grass.
Okay. So, yeah. That's his little back end to how he became ROLLIN'JAY, how he became this new inspirational pop star.
Pop star? Oh my God. I don't sing.
Pop stars don't sing?
Yes. Influencer.
Yeah. This new, say it again?
Influencer.
Yeah, teach me.
Yeah.
I still like pop star.
No, pop star
It's
singers.
rolled off the tongue a little bit better. Pop star.
Newfound pop star and newfound influencer. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe.
Share.
Yeah, and also share.
With everyone. Your mom, your grandmother, your sister, brother, daddy, uncle, cousin, baby mama, baby daddy.
That's
all those people.
That's everybody. That's everybody.
Is
so
that
yeah,
everybody?
share it. And
tag me too. Yeah.
I'll leave
JATERRIOUS don't like to tag me and stuff because he don't want people to follow me, but I need my followers up too. I only have like 220 something followers. What? He keeps me blocked, but yeah.
She's not blocked.
Do all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me clout. Thanks. That's it.